Welcome back to the show, and what a show it's going to be this afternoon as we get into the Bonsoy Legends Heat here at the GWM Sydney Surf Pro. Presented by Bonsoy, Ronnie Blakey on hand with Felicity Parmentier and Richie Lovett. Are you guys ready for this?
Oh,
some of our surfing heroes are going to be out there. It's going to be so much fun to watch. And one of your buddies, of course.
Big time buddy. Used to be frenemy, now friends.
Oh, I love
Laura
it.
Enever.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We just had Nathan Hedge in here before, Rich, and he just can't help himself, can he? He just said, once you get the jersey on, it doesn't matter, you know, how much of an exhibition and celebration it is. You just sort of click into competitive mode.
Who goes for a warm-up surf for a fun exhibition? Hedgie was down there. He was pulling boards out of board bags and getting all sorted out with the equipment. He's taking this seriously.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. The conditions are very difficult, but you've got some of the hardest charging surfers of all time out there in the lineup. Rob Bain, he was a rugby league player as a Grom. He didn't like running with the ball. He liked cutting people in half, tackling people. And as a result, he managed to get the win over some really tough opponents. Even Kelly Slater talks about infamous heats with Rob Bain, just staring him down and making life miserable for him. So Bainey will be fun to watch. Tom Carroll out there, of course, multiple Pipe Masters champion, two-time world champion. Laura Enever, world record holder at the moment, former CT surfer. Damien Hardman, the Iceman, just a North Narrabeen legend. He will be out there putting together a clinical performance, no doubt. And, of course, Nathan Hedge. He'll bring the snort and the oink that we expect from the hog out there in this lineup, but it's going to be fun.
Oh, it's going to be so fun. I mean, all of these surfers in the lineup right now, like you said, Ron, everyone's fired up. There's something about putting a rashie on or a jersey on and you want to compete. But I think, not to say, obviously Laura's competitive, right? She have to be to do what she's done. But everyone bar Laura, I feel like, is extremely competitive. I mean, we just heard, you know, all these guys, they want to win. As we see, it's like Hedgie.
Nathan Hedge ripping into things to get us going here. We've got 40 minutes to enjoy this. I mean, the Legends Heat, the Snapper World Champs Heat up at Snapper Rocks, the first Challenger Series stop was all time. You know, a truly special day where the waves cooperated, they were firing, and a huge crowd turned out. It meant Fisher and friends, we backed it up and got them back out there. That was a lot of fun, but we had these legends out here last year. The crowd relished the opportunity to see them. And it was kind of similar. It was tricky surf. Did you go out last year, Rich?
No, I didn't. I stayed sensibly in the booth.
Well, you'd be worthy of a spot in this lineup, as the Northern Beach is great, mate.
Well, thank you. If the surf was a little kinder today, I may have donned the wetsuit, put a jersey on. But no, happy to be calling action with you guys here and talking story.
Love it. I mean, we could talk for 38.5 minutes about how many injuries Tom Carroll's had through his career. He's tried to hide a surfboard within himself. He's busted his shoulders, legs, ankles, hips.
Oh, but
he's still going. He's still looking so fit, as is this man, Damien Hardman. I mean, Damien Hardman, a competitive machine, Rich. It's, you know, often spoken about as being a ruthless competitor. And I think that's sometimes taken away from the magic of his surfing. You travelled with him on tour, and he hung around for a while.
Yeah, he did. He didn't go away. And why would he? He was just sharp as a tack. He was one of those guys that never put a foot wrong in a heat. He was always just onto it. He knew all the rules. There was that famous time at the Coke Classic out here, actually. I think he was actually in a heat with Rob Bain. And he was paddling out, and he had priority, and he didn't lose it. He was actually duck diving the whitewash, somehow turned around inside the whitewash, stood up, and got an interference on Bainey, who was riding the wave. And at that point, it was like one of the gnarliest manoeuvres anyone had ever seen. It was a full priority flex, and Damien just went, what? They're the rules. I got every right to do that, and kicked him out of the contest. So, yeah, that's why he's called the Iceman. He would, you know, do anything to win, but really, you know, his surfing performances are, for me, the most memorable days. We see Hedgie here, just a quick in and out. But the most memorable day for me was watching Damien win the world title down at Queenscliff there was a whole number of them who were lined up who could have taken the win. Gary Elkerton, Tom Curran, Barton Lynch, Duma, and Duma came away with the win. It was an amazing day.
Yeah, and he validated that world title, getting another one. But here he is. He's going to have a really good read on this lineup. Obviously spends more time out here than just about anyone. Got to get this disclaimer out. We've got a cast of legends out here, but obviously a lot of legends not living on these shores anymore, or not available to come out here and take part in this show. And we'll mention who they are as the show rolls on. But this is a great collection to give tribute to the Northern Beaches. And looking forward to seeing all of them rack up a couple of numbers here. Of course, we're not throwing scores out there. We're just going to sit back and watch, but we'll determine a winner, as we always do. The two-time world champ, Tom Carroll.
Yeah, Tommy is an absolute legend. Here we go. Here's Bain.
Well, Rob Bain, he was a prodigy as a Grom, even before he started surfing. He was on the Coca-Cola skate team with Shane Horan, a couple of grommets travelling around. It was Australia's answer to the Dogtown crew, and they do exhibitions around the place. And then Bainey eventually got into surfing and really found a passion for it. Rich, you travelled the world with Bainey. You guys were on the Hot Tuna team together.
Yeah.
And
that was a bit of fun.
Linked in more ways than one.
Yeah, we were. The Hot Tuna photo shoots were always memorable and a lot of fun. And there was one instance where we were standing on a building in Oxford Street, all chained together by nipple rings and nose rings, and all sorts of other things.
Yeah, Richard Meldrum was innovative.
He was a trailblazer.
For sure, he sure was. So, yeah, Rob Bain, 4-time CT event winner. His first CT win came in Portugal on his birthday. And almost 30 years later, on his birthday, he won a Grand Masters title in the Azores. And that was an emotional moment for him. And he was reflecting after he took out that Grand Masters title about being there in Portugal for his first win with his girlfriend, Kath, at the time. And 30 years later, Kath's his wife, and they've got 3 beautiful children. and he's holding that world title trophy up, and yeah, really proud moment for him.
Yeah, absolutely, and has been, entrenched in the surfing industry since leaving it as a professional as well, still working for O'Neill, long-time company in the surfing world. But I remember we're at the Masters, the WSL Masters in Brazil a fair few years ago now. This was before he got his Grand Masters title. We'll get back to that story.
I can't wait to get back to some of those stories. I'm sure you guys had a good time. As we see, Damien Hardman locking in. And right now, he is just tangled in weed.
Stay above it, Duma.
Love it. Going for it.
Yeah, but back to that story, Duma. I thought it was going to be somewhat of a friendly event. And I think I had Bainey in the round before the quarters or something, and he paddled me about 200 yards up the beach and around this point. And he's going, sorry, mate, I've just got to do it. I've got to do it. Just has not lost.
Wow.
Coat hanger. That was a full coat hanger.
Narrabeen is packing a punch. Did Bainey just lose his rashy?
It ripped his jersey off.
Wow.
But,
that was hectic.
Mate, the point being is that this guy, as a competitor, ruthless, just as ruthless as Duma, and he will, do anything to win.
Yeah, amazing. And Bainey's had some hardships over the years too. A couple of gnarly injuries. Actually broke his neck and several vertebrae in his back during a freak surfing accident up at Avalon. And it's so good that he recovered from that, because that was before he went on to win his Masters title, Grand Masters title. Oh, I thought we were going to have to stretcher him out of the water after that wipeout. Well, that was hectic.
Bit of a neck adjustment, for
but
sure.
yeah, you guys, so much history for you, not just the same sponsors, but you also got washed through the jungle together over at G-Land.
Yeah, that was a gnarly moment in history. We're actually over at G-Land. And, well, this is pretty tame to what we went through, that wipeout. 94, Tipajaba in the Grudgegan Village, 2 a.m. in the morning. It's a replay of Duma. Oh, nice hit off the top there. Comes around this section, clean snap. That was that wave earlier, and the best ride of the event, I think, Flick, so far. But hang on, here goes Hedgie. Oh!
Throwing it down. Nathan Hedge, the number of years on the CT. Had a couple of runner-up finishes, one at Jeffreys Bay, one in Tahiti. That was in his run to his best ever finish in 2004. He got to 7th place. But maybe one of his most famous performances was as a wildcard in Tahiti just a couple of years back. Surfed his way through to the semis. Looked deadly.
Yeah, and, you know, Hedgie's the sharpest competitively, you know, the youngest out here, obviously, besides Laura. Sorry, out of the men.
Youngest goofy footer out there.
Youngest goofy footer out there. And, you know, he's still sharp. He's still competing now.
Yeah,
he's
true.
still entering events.
It's so true.
Let's talk about Laura Enever for a bit, because you did do some time with Laura. Well, you guys battled each other as Groms coming through the ranks, but also we've been talking a lot about Laura's Guinness World Record. You were out there with her that day. You paddled out together into that surf.
We almost paddled into that wave together, actually. We were right next to each other, but I pulled back and she went and obviously got this world record. It was incredible. That whole day, obviously history was made, but yeah, it was just so impressive, and we'll get back to that.
Well, here goes Duma, the Iceman. Throwing it down on the end section here.
Yeah, but back to Laura and that day. I mean, we've spent a lot of time together over the years, and when we were Groms, obviously battling each other, but Laura's such an amazing competitor, you know, and I feel because of her personality, and she's so lighthearted and never takes herself too seriously. Sometimes people forget just how competitive she is and just how successful she's been, because she's just got this lighthearted, playful energy that everyone absolutely loves. But she is a weapon. I mean, she's got 2 World Junior titles. She's won, you know, all the things. She was on the CT. She's made finals. She's an esteemed competitor, and now that she's transitioned into big wave and taking that more so seriously, I feel like she's really found her calling. Oh my goodness. It's just so hard out there right now.
It feels to me that, you know, Laura at some stage is going to enter the Australian Surfing Hall of Fame, and that's something that a few of the surfers out there in the lineup at the moment are part of. And when you look at the Australian Surfing Hall of Fame, there is a lot of surfers from the Northern Beaches, even administrators that are within that Hall of Fame, competitors, and plenty of them from Narrabeen as well. Simon Anderson, of course, who grew up at Collaroy but quickly graduated to the lineup here at North Narrabeen and became part of the Board Riders Club.
Oh, careful.
Terry Fitzgerald, Damien Hardman, but right along the beaches, Barton Lynch, of course, just he's one of my favourites as a Grom. Had the opportunity to call a lot of heats with Barton over the years, which has been fantastic. And yeah, he's missed from this lineup of surfers for sure. Yeah,
definitely. There's such a long list of esteemed names, and we'll rattle a couple off in a minute after this wave of Hedgie.
Yeah, tucks in deep in the barrel, and that's what Nathan Hedge was always most famous for. Great performances in waves of serious consequence. Not that that was one of them, but couldn't find his way through it.
Look at all that seaweed, so crazy. I spoke to him before this heat, and he was just really hoping that wind would, as this storm sort of passed through, he was hoping it was going to click around more so the wind would click more to the west. So he's like, I'm searching for the tube. There might be a couple if that wind clicks more west. And so obviously here we go. He's still trying to find tubes, tube pig, and obviously he's amazing in the barrel. But yeah, that one not consequential, but him obviously being so amazing in these big, monstrous barrels.
Well, he actually was almost in the running for potentially getting the call up as a surfer in the Australian Olympic team for Tahiti too, just based on his performances in those heavy waves. Obviously, we know Gabriel Medina ended up winning the ISA gold, and Team Brazil took it out, so he got the extra spot. But if Australia was to get the team gold, and Nathan Hedge is one of the surfers they were talking about maybe stepping up to compete for it. So he was in full training mode. He always is, fit as a fiddle. And he's out there at the moment just trying to enjoy himself, trying to enjoy himself.
He's starting to get that hot head going. You can see it. It's starting to glow.
You can cook an egg on top of that thing.
Flick, I want to know, you guys are ultra competitive. We're talking about Laura. Who's got the nod on the dance floor? I know you guys spend a lot of time together. Shimming around the place these days.
We do. We spend heaps of time together. We get up to mischief. We're always having fun. But Laura has to take the cake. I mean, she's had some beautiful moments on the D floor.
I don't know. I've got footage on my phone from Fisher.
Oh.
The after party. You were giving it a pretty good nudge there, Flick.
Yeah, with my broken paw, probably not the best idea.
But, Rich, you were going to rattle off just some of the other surfers not here taking part in this Bonsoy Legends heat, because there is plenty of them from the northern beaches. We'll get to those in a moment. But Duma finds a clean wall to work with. Oh, it is so tricky out there at the moment.
This is the reason why I opted for the booth. So I just want to mention too, like, there's a couple of artificial parts out here. Duma's had his hips done. Tommy's got an artificial knee. So there's plenty of metal out there in the bodies.
Oh my goodness.
So they're doing
more
pretty
robot
good.
than men.
They're doing pretty good. I'd trump them all if I was out there. But anyway, I'm going to rattle some names off. Stuart Bedford-Brown, Cess Wilson, Mike Ramelsi, obviously legend.
Stuart Bedford-Brown, isn't it, from the West Coast?
He's a West
Well,
Aussie.
we adopted him. Avalon boy. Anyway, sorry, I'll keep going. Cole Smith, the legend. Simon Anderson, Mark Warren, Craig Ando, Davo, of course. We've got to give respect to Davo. Crazy talent. Nathan Noodles Webster, one of my fellow tour buddies. Aussie Wright, famous free surfer, still going strong. The Bano brothers, Mark Bannister, did the world tour for a number of years. Ryan Allegich, #1 surfer in the world for a week when he won the Clearwater Classic down there at Manly. Merrick Davis, Tony Sawyer, Pam Burridge, and then more recently Dayan Neve, Kai Otten, and I do want to also mention Stuart, the Twiz and Twizzle World Longboard Champion 1988.
Any other of your close friends that you want to throw in there? What about Chelsea Hedges?
Lane Beachley.
Lane Beachley. Like, we could go on forever. And then, like, just a stone's throw away, you had Shane Horan, Pauline Mensah, Richard Cram from just the other side of the bridge. You could keep heading to the beaches south of there and rattle off a bunch more names.
We'll obviously take it way back even further. You know, midget 64.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
The great midget. That, as I mentioned,
Nat,
Hall
66.
of Famers from the northern beaches as well. Nat Young. Oh, man, you could just go on forever. And then there was some instrumental people who played a huge part in just the development of the sport that were from the northern beaches as well. Bob Evans, who is a Hall of Famer. He started the Australian Surf Riding Association and actually put together the first World Championships, which were won by midget. And Phyllis down there at Manly Beach, Phyllis O'Donnell. But one that we have to mention is the Queen of Australian Surfing, Isabel Latham.
Oh, of course.
From Freshwater Beach. Did the surfing demonstration with the Duke over at DY. And, you know, that was over 100 years ago, obviously, and that's been celebrated in a big way since. But they're just a mad keen surfer herself. But, yeah, you could go on forever. You really could. There's just been so many greats, and we've mentioned it a bunch of times during the broadcast. But as far as surfboard evolution and creation has gone, the northern beaches has been a massive contributor to absolute massive performance changes over the years. The Brookvale 6 originally Shane Stedman and his factory, where Simon cut his teeth as a craftsman. Terry Fitzgerald as well. Man, the list goes on and on. Did you mention Kai and Joel?
No, I didn't.
Well, I know why you didn't mention Kai.
Yeah.
But we can't talk about that on air. Kai knows why. But have a look here at Laura Enever. Nice little swoop off the top. And a nice hit to finish. Oh, Laura jumps into the lead for me.
Oh, same.
Steph Gilmore got the jump on the boys at Snapper Rocks. And Laura with a couple of nice hits there. Tom Carroll, just iconic, still so fit. And if you want to connect with Tom, you can most days. Guided meditations, which he just does as a service to just everyone out there.
Yeah, I've tapped into Tom's meditation countless times, actually. It really is a terrific way to start off your day. Looks like someone's having a decent paddle at this one.
Yeah, getting swamped here in the white water. It's Rob Bain. Gets to his feet, has some speed to burn down the line here. Nice little float here from Bainey. He gets out of there. Let's check in with the winner of the last heat of the round of 16. It's with Jessie Starling.
Yeah, Bella, we couldn't get to you. You just got a little tribe following you up the beach, holding your hand. That's cool. It's really cool.
It's unreal, actually. It brings a little tear to my eye. I got a little friendship bracelet too that was made for me that says SURF. And I mean, I'm just feeling love from all these guys here. Like every day there's more and more of them, and I'm starting to feel like they're my good luck charms.
Don't just travel with coaches and your family. You know, you travel with a little posse of local kids too. We love to see it, but let's get to the heat. It was hard out there, and you come up against a good friend, India, as well.
It was really difficult conditions out there. That was probably one of the hardest heats that I've ever surfed. I think the only other heat that really eclipsed that one was actually here last year with India in the quarters, where I think a rain squall came through. And that was almost like deja vu. We had seaweed, we had closeouts. That was like, yeah, probably the scrappiest heat I've ever had. And yeah, I'm bummed for Indy because she's one of my really good friends, and I saw her take that heavy fall at the end, and I was just like, man, there was a lot. But yeah, she's an incredible surfer, and it sucks to come up against your mates, but I'm happy to get through that, and hopefully we get some better conditions the next few days.
You're the perfect picture of a great sportsman. There's no wonder you have a full crew checking in on Indy after that last wave. Anything you want to say to any of the Groms back home who I know are tuning in?
Hey to everyone at home, my mum and dad in Peru, my brother in Mexico, my sister in Perth. Yeah, I miss you guys. Thanks for watching, and yeah, let's keep going.
Amazing, well done. Let's tune in to the Legends Heat now. Woohoo.
Thank you, Jess. Isabella Nichols won the event last year into the quarterfinals once again with 19 and a half minutes to go here in our Legends Heat. We've been honouring some of the greats from the beaches here and also on the east side over there around the city beaches. But yeah, at the moment, I've got to say, I think Laura Enever's got the edge, and
I believe so. I just hope she can back it up, because she has been known before to score some pretty excellent scores and not be able to convert. So come on, Lawsy, let's back it up. Let's get another one.
Bring it home. Well, we're going to take our Bonsoy brew break. More to come from our Legends Heat right after this. Welcome back. We've got the Bonsoy Legends Heat unfolding, and it's a lot of fun for us to be able to call these ones our surfing heroes out there in the lineup. And yeah, it's a difficult lineup. We heard Damien Hardman, who obviously keeps such a keen eye on the conditions out here, saying that, you know, with this wind, the low tide, lining up for the Legends Heat. It's a little difficult. So it's dead low right now, isn't it, Rich?
It is, I believe, or thereabouts.
We've seen these Challenger Series competitors struggling on the lower tide.
No, it's right on low. 4:40, 3 minutes past.
Amazing.
So,
well,
yeah.
Hopefully with that incoming tide.
The extra 3 minutes.
Yeah. We see conditions improve here. But talk to us about just the influence, Flick, that these surfers had on you as a Grom.
Well, I think I just look at all these surfers in this heat, right? And obviously I'm closest to Age and Laura, but for me, Tom Carroll stands out big time. I think he made the biggest impact on my life when I mean, I wasn't really, I don't even know if I was alive when this actually came out, but I've since then watched it on YouTube. And it was Storm Chasers with Ross Clark-Jones. And honestly, just seeing the camaraderie between those two and watching them go and chase these crazy waves, some of the waves that, you know, hadn't been to before, and the dynamic between them was just hilarious, you know, the banter, you know, when they're on the ski together, and it was all the moments in between these crazy waves they were catching that really just made me gravitate towards those two. Tom obviously, and then, I mean, how could you go past him at Pipeline, that iconic snap as well, and I mean, but all of them as well, because I've spent a bit of time now over the years on these northern beaches, at Whale Beach, so I see Rob Bain around. I mean, all the surfers here, but for me, obviously, Laura as well stands out. I think we're super similar in age, and I've been so pumped to watch her in the last few years really pivot, and obviously she's always had, you know, a love for surfing big waves and challenging waves, but she's just really lent into that more recently, and it's her calling. I mean, she absolutely loves it. She thrives in situations like that, and she tells me that's the moments, you know, she's a pretty hyperactive person who's got a lot going on, but they're the moments where things go quiet and she can really focus, and she just taps into that energy, and it's when she can think clearly. And I mean, it's clearly working for her, because she's had some amazing moments already this year. I mean, she went down to Shippies and got a couple of nuggets there. She went to Fiji and chased that big swell. So, I mean, she's she inspires me, and I know she's inspiring that next generation of female surfers and men as well.
Absolutely back that, for sure. She's inspiring to women and men, just in her antics, the way she just will tackle anything. The first time I saw Laura Enever, she came as a spectator to a charity event. Luke Steadman, another great surfer who competed on the championship tour, he put on at Avalon, and they had a huge vert half pipe there. Laura was 11. She just grabbed the board and went to the top and tried to take the drop. She got creamed, but she's just always had that go for it attitude. Nathan Hedge, we had him in the booth before talking about, you know, the influence of some of his surfing heroes. Damien Hardman, he was always in awe of Damien Hardman every time he paddled into the lineup, and Tom Carroll and Nathan Hedge have done a lot of work together over the years, just absolutely psyching each other up. But Tom Carroll from Newport, and Newport had a group of surfers too that always pushed the boundaries. We see Bain go down hard, but Newport had a great cast of surfers. Derek Hind, we hadn't mentioned him. He was a brilliant talent, and of course an unbelievable journalist, and still doing amazing surfing, fins-free surfing, friction-free, and but Tom's older brother Nick too, an Aussie champ a couple of times over. But Tom really, sort of with his performances out here at North Narrabeen in pumping conditions, kind of became synonymous with this wave, even though...
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I do remember watching him compete out here numerous times. And that photo of him with arms outstretched, sitting in that barrel out here at Northie is just etched in my mind. Bainey's on a mission here to, well, I don't know what he's trying to do, but...
He's just gone down hard a couple of times. I mean, 10 points with effort and trying and commitment.
Absolutely. Yeah, but Bainey, I just love how, you know, he doesn't take life too seriously. He's always up for having a laugh. At himself even, and yeah, it's good times whenever Bainey's around.
Yeah, while we're on the subject of Tom Carroll, you should check out the book that There's been a couple of Tom Carroll books, but the one that his brother wrote is brilliant. It's TC, the tell-all autobiography, and it's definitely worth a read. Just diving into his amazing life story for both of them, really getting into their life stories. But yeah, Northern Beaches legends, still two of the most unbelievably psyched surfers you'll ever come across, always in the water.
Yeah, I actually did a lot of travel with Tom over the last decade. You know, we've got into board design together. Tom really lent into the whole SUP movement when it came about. He's right into foiling now. Really has, you know, gone from surfer to waterman over the last few decades. He is the king of froth. He loves to share a wave. And, you know, he is just always up for it, you know. He's got so much knowledge, such a calm, easy demeanour about him these days as well. There he goes, the man up and riding.
Well, look at the tuck here. Tommy Carroll deep in the pocket. Almost goes over the foam ball. I should say, too, one of the reasons that Tom... Hedge, he loves it. You can see him pumping his fist, screaming, Tommy! That was unreal. But one of the reasons Tom Carroll spent a lot of time in this lineup is that his shaper, one of his first sponsors, was Cole Smith, who's another Hall of Fame surfer, a goofy footer from North Narrabeen, who really, you know, gave surfers a different line to take. He had such an incredible vertical approach. Not too many people could swing a single fin around like Cole Smith, but it did give Tom entry into this lineup. And it's an entry that he's still taking today, deep inside the barrel here.
Well, he's just recovered from surgery. It's taken 10 months, and hopefully he doesn't need surgery again after this thing.
Mate, he's lived more than half his life in that position, deep in the barrel.
Oh,
9.5 minutes to go, and he shakes it off. Flicks a bit of weed out of his system, by the looks of things, and gets himself back to the takeoff zone. But those Pipe Masters victories, Rich, for me, that was, you know, what led to my brother and I think, creating a Tom Carroll shrine in our bedroom. As we see Bain locking in. Let's dive into the heat recap here and see what these legends have gotten up to. They've certainly been pushing themselves.
Oh, that is one word for it, Ron, for sure. But I think it's been Damien Hardman. He started off great, right? Got a couple of waves under the belt, couple of carving snaps. That's still standing test of time. A couple of moments, actually. Here we go, another snap here, but just calming on stuff. We've seen plenty of carnage as well. But for me, it's been this little nugget here from Laura, just going to town on that last manoeuvre. I feel like she's still just edging out in the front here. Not that we're scoring, but Hedgie just laying one.
Oh, beautiful carve.
Yeah, beautiful. Sun starting to shine. This is the moment we just witnessed. Tommy Carroll pulling into an absolute drainer.
That's the moment. I mean, it's a fierce closeout, but it gave us just enough of that Tom Carroll magic.
I feel like that could almost trump Laura.
Oh, yeah, that's got Laura covered for sure. Have a look at this afternoon. The sun setting over the Gadigal National Park there. Beautiful view, and we haven't seen too much of that sun this past week. Laura Enever up, grabbing the rail, looking for a bit of cover here. Gets some vision, goes for the barrel roll. Incomplete.
Barrel roll. Oh, wow.
7.5 minutes left in this one. And there's just so many amazing individuals that you could, you know, touch on here. I definitely want to make a special mention to Mark Warren, who was a North Narrabeen local. And, yeah, he had a huge win in the 76 Smirnoff over there in Hawaii on the North Shore, where he still spends a whole lot of time. And he was sort of one of the original surf commentators as well, Mark. He certainly gave me a leg up early on when he was running the broadcast for Quicksilver. But still a great surfer. I got into kiting and foiling like you wouldn't believe. Always fit as a rock. Gorgeous harbour.
Oh, stop. It is beautiful. It's like the first time we've seen the sun in a while. It's nice of it to show its face. But yeah, beautiful afternoon, sun setting over the national park. And this wave looks like an absolute nugget.
Well, Hedgie, he looks right, something that he doesn't do too often, but a beautiful backhand blast there. I think we had Tom on the left. Still 6 minutes to enjoy this sunset and enjoy watching these legends go at North Narrabeen.
Let's have a look what Tom did on the left here. Deep bottom turn, just getting his foot placement right. And unfortunately, that wave just rallies off down the line.
It's amazing, Rich, on the Northern Beaches stretch, how often you'll bump into these legends and more in the car parks when you're checking the surf.
Yeah.
You know, they're just so still all about the ocean and getting out there every day.
Yeah, absolutely. On any of the beaches, really, up and down the Northern Peninsula here, you know, it's almost a ritual, a morning gathering, a surf check, a conversation with a coffee in hand, and these legends are part of it. You know, Damien is down here every morning checking the surf. Tom up towards, well, he's up sort of around the Avalon area these days, but it certainly happens down at Manly every morning as well.
And the cool thing is they've got so much time for people. They'll stand and have a chat. It's so fun picking their brains. You know, Tom in particular just seems to really relish the opportunity to, you know, just break it down, dive into big moments in his career, talk about what new injury he's trying to recover from.
Oh.
It's really cool, but it is always difficult when you're celebrating legends not to just keep referring to some of those who set the pace. And another trailblazer that I want to mention, a guy that many consider to be the father of Australian surfing, was Snowy McAllister.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who was always thinking about board design and where improvements could be made there. But yeah, he was another one of those founding members of the Australian Surf Riders Association back in the day. Yeah, well, another Hall of Famer, the original Hall of Famer.
There's a shrine to Snowy McAllister out on the Ferry Bower Point down at Manly there. If you go right out in between the Winky Pop and the Bower section, there's a rock and it just has a big Snowy painted on it. It was on the wall down at Manly there for a while as well. This is Bain.
Well, Bain, I see a lot of Bain in the surf up around the Avalon area, still rips in the board riders. Did us all a favour and moved on from senior men's into the Legends division, which he often wins. I don't think he's dropped the Legends heat in some time, but still a big part of it. And Rob's son actually doing really well too, Billy, with his artwork. Rob's wife, Kath, has Indigenous heritage, and Billy, you know, just his work is awesome. Got a couple of pieces, and yeah, it's classic, iconic stuff, and features in many of the galleries around the beaches. As we see Laura taking a late drop. Well, if Laura can't stick a drop out there, you know it's difficult. Super cupped out. She's ridden over bigger steps at ship sterns in the past month. Here goes Nathan Hedge again, looking for the pit. Not quite big enough for the hog, that one.
Yeah, just scouring the trough, isn't he? The hog. Just looking for any
Always
sort
got
of
his
nugget.
Snout in the trough.
Look at these colours here. Finally, the sun has shown its beautiful face and is putting on a bit of a show here.
Hopefully a sign of things to come tomorrow and the next day, I'd say.
Yeah, big day ahead tomorrow, I think. Some new swell. We're going to rise to a fresh south energy. So we'll be down here early to check it out. What a treat.
Day.
Yeah, what a treat. What a day.
Still got the WSL post show coming up, where we'll look at some of the highlights for the round of 16, some big moves laid down, some upset results, and some great quarterfinal heats to dive into. But right now, Damien Hardman on screen, just wanting to wrap up the afternoon with a magic ride. He's had so many here over the years. Still competitive in the Board Riders Club. The president these days. Got his surf shop too down at the south end of the beach.
Here's a good looking ride.
Oh.
And looking to pick off the end of this one is Laura. Drops into it and doesn't opt to pull into this one.
Keep yourself in one piece, Laura. We need you in the booth for the next couple of days.
Yeah, just thinking about the schedules now and what other legends we might be able to pull out of the
I feel like this
woodwork and throw in a jersey and get out there to celebrate.
needs to be a regular thing, I think. It's a good time.
Been lucky enough to see this lot out there a couple of times now. But yeah, over to Bolito for the next Challenger Series stop. You put a Legends heat on in Tahiti though, and Poto's going to show up half the field.
He will, absolutely. Hedge, look at him. He wants one more. Just
you can
stinging.
see sharking around the lineup, isn't he?
Looking sharp though.
Yeah, he's, you know, really focused his energy into maintaining his fitness and keeping his surfing at a very high level. 20 seconds to go here. What a spectacle. A great opportunity to tip our cap to some of the greats from this region. Rob Bain, Tom Carroll, Nathan Hedge, Laura Enever and Damien Hardman. This one coming to a close. We would have loved to have gotten them out there in all-time conditions, but it wasn't to be today, but we'll take it. It was a beautiful sunset. And I'm sure everyone down here on the beach enjoyed watching them take to it, enjoyed watching them take a couple of hits.
Oh, there was some carnage, all right. But for me, hero moment still goes to TC. That was an epic pit that he pulled into. It was a heaving section. But also the hero for me is just that sunset. It's good to see you again, son. It's been a while.
Yeah, welcome back. And, well, I think there'll be a little line outside the chiropractor down here at the event after this one.
Yeah.
But what a treat. Loved seeing, well, my friends, I can confidently call them all very close friends now, seeing them perform. And I know all too well, you know, the injuries, and we when we sit down having a coffee, it's often about, you know, the latest injury or ailment that you're trying to overcome and stay fit enough so that we can keep doing this very thing that we love to do and the thing that's brought us all together. You know, we're all part of that big surfing fraternity, and yeah, what a show. Awesome stuff.
It's been amazing, and it's not over yet. We've still got the WSL post show coming your way, and we'll break down all the highlights from today, including this ride from Tom Carroll.